Hello everyone, imagine standing in front of a locked door. A door that hides everything you've ever dreamed of. Success, fulfillment, and purpose. Most people wait for someone else to hand them the key, not realizing the key has been in their own pocket all along. The real question is, will you find the courage to use it? The hidden key within is something most people spend their entire lives searching for outside themselves. They chase after opportunities, positions, and recognition, believing that success is a treasure buried in the world, waiting for them to stumble upon it. Yet the truth is, the key to unlocking success has always rested in their own hands, hidden in plain sight, disguised as determination, belief, and an unshakable spirit. The world around us often tries to convince us that success belongs only to the chosen few, to the fortunate, or to those who happen to be in the right place at the right time. But those who rise, those who truly break through the walls of limitations, are the ones who understand that the seed of success was planted in them from the very beginning. It is not something granted by the world, it is something awakened within. Think about a door standing tall before you. On the other side is everything you dream of. The life you imagine, the impact you want to make, the goals you strive toward. Most people stand before that door and wait for someone else to hand them the key. They wait for approval, for luck, for circumstances to align. But the truth is, the key has never been missing. It has always been within you, waiting to be discovered. It comes in the form of persistence, the willingness to take the first step, even when fear whispers that you are not ready. It comes in the form of resilience, the decision to rise again after every fall, no matter how painful. And, most importantly, it comes in the form of belief, the unshakable trust that you are capable of becoming more than your present moment suggests. Every successful person you have ever admired has faced moments of doubt and uncertainty. They were not born with maps pointing to hidden treasures. They created their own paths because they dared to trust the key within themselves. A student who grows up in poverty but believes in the power of education finds a way to break free of limitation. An artist who is told their work is worthless keeps painting until the world finally sees the value they had always carried within. An athlete, broken by defeat after defeat, chooses to continue training, not because the world believes in them, but because somewhere inside they hold the key of belief. The difference between those who give up and those who rise lies in whether they realize that success is not waiting outside. It is awakened inside. The hidden key is not revealed in moments of comfort, but in moments of struggle. It is when you are tired, uncertain, and tempted to quit that you find the chance to unlock your greatest strength. The storm that seems to drown you is often the very test that shows you how powerful you really are. If you look back at your own life, you will find moments where you thought you could not go on, yet you did. You thought you had no strength left, yet you found more. That was the hidden key working within you. Every hardship, every obstacle, is not proof that you are unworthy of success, but proof that success is asking you to reach deeper into yourself and discover the key you already hold. The world may hand you opportunities, but without the inner key, those opportunities will slip away. Likewise, the world may put obstacles in your path, but with the inner key, you can turn those obstacles into stepping stones. This is why two people in the same situation can have entirely different outcomes. One sees the closed door and walks away, believing they have no way in. The other sees the same door, feels the same weight of difficulty, but remembers the key they carry, and they push through until the lock gives way. When you begin to trust the hidden key within, you no longer wait for permission to chase your dreams. You no longer sit idle, hoping that someone will show you the way. Instead, you become the one who creates the way. You understand that success is not something distant, waiting for the perfect moment to arrive, but something you unlock daily with choices, actions, and a resilient heart. You start to realize that every small decision matters. The choice to wake up earlier, the choice to keep learning, the choice to stay consistent even when progress feels invisible. These choices are the turns of the key, slowly unlocking the life you dream of. Belief is the foundation of the hidden key, because without belief, you will not even attempt to place the key in the lock. If you doubt your own strength, you will walk away from challenges before they have the chance to shape you. Belief does not mean arrogance. It means quiet trust that even if you are not ready now, you can grow ready. Even if you do not have all the answers, you can learn them. Even if you fall, you can rise again. Success is not about knowing everything from the start, but about believing you are capable of evolving, step by step. The hidden key within is a reminder that no matter where you are, no matter what circumstances surround you, you are never powerless. You carry within you the same strength, the same potential, the same spark that has allowed countless others before you to rise beyond their conditions. It is not about waiting for the right time, the right people, or the right chance. It is about unlocking what you already hold. And the moment you begin to see that, the moment you begin to trust in that, the door of success that once seemed unreachable begins to open before you. The journey over the destination is one of the most overlooked truths of success. People often set their eyes only on the final prize, the end result, the applause that comes when everything is achieved. They dream of the day their goals are fulfilled and imagine how life will feel once they stand at the top of the mountain. Yet, when they finally arrive, they often realize that the destination itself was just a moment, a fleeting point in time. What gave that moment meaning was not the arrival, but everything that happened along the way. The sweat, the struggle, the doubts, the lessons, the failures, the resilience. All of these experiences form the real treasure. The destination is only the proof that the journey was worth it. But the journey itself is what shapes the person who can truly handle success. Think of a runner preparing for a marathon. The finish line is the goal, but what makes that goal possible is the months, sometimes years, of discipline, training, and perseverance. Every morning they wake up before sunrise to run. Every evening they battle fatigue and soreness. Every setback becomes a lesson in patience and endurance. By the time they finally cross the finish line, the race itself becomes almost symbolic, because the real victory was not the moment of crossing, but the person they became during the process of reaching that point. The journey transformed them, tested their character, and unlocked their strength in a way the destination never could. This is why people who obsess only over the destination often feel empty when they finally arrive. They forget to live through the process, to grow during the climb, to learn from the struggles. Success then feels shallow, like a medal placed around the neck of someone who does not understand what it truly represents. On the other hand, those who embrace the journey find that every step, no matter how painful, adds to their depth and character. The joy is not just in standing at the summit, but in remembering the climb, the moments where they almost gave up, and the courage it took to keep moving forward. Failure plays a crucial role in this journey. People often see failure as a setback, a sign that they are moving away from the destination. But failure is not the end of the path. It is part of the path. It carries lessons that no textbook, no mentor, no success story can ever teach. When a door shuts, when plans collapse, when the world says no, the journey forces you to ask deeper questions, to think creatively, to dig into strength you did not know you had. Every failure sharpens your vision, strengthens your resolve, and equips you for the day when success finally arrives. Without these failures, the destination would feel hollow, because the weight of victory is only truly felt by those who know the weight of loss. Consider the story of inventors who spent years, even decades, working on their ideas. For many of them, thousands of attempts ended in failure. To someone looking only at the destination, these failures seem like wasted time. But to the inventor, every failure carried information. Every setback taught them something new. Every broken attempt brought them one step closer. By the time they succeeded, their joy was not simply about the finished invention, but about the countless lessons the journey had carved into them. The struggle gave meaning to the success, and without that struggle, the invention itself might never have been realized. The journey also humbles us. It reminds us that success is not instantaneous, not handed to anyone without effort. It demands patience, endurance, and trust in the unseen process. When you are in the middle of the journey, there will be times when the destination feels so far away you question if it even exists. These moments are tests of faith, asking you to keep walking even when the road is dark. And when you do, you learn that the strength you built in these uncertain moments becomes more valuable than the prize. At the end, there is also beauty in the small victories along the journey. The first time you improve at something, the first moment you see progress, the first recognition you receive, these are milestones that light the way forward. They may not be the ultimate destination, but they keep the fire alive, reminding you that growth is happening, even when the final goal has not yet been reached. Too often, people overlook these small wins because they are so focused on the grand finale. But if you pause to honor them, you realize they are the building blocks of the larger dream. The journey is also where connections are made. the mentors who guide you, the friends who walk beside you, the people who believe in you when you doubt yourself. All of them become part of the story. The destination may belong to you, but the journey belongs to everyone who touched your path along the way. This is why the journey carries more richness than the destination ever could. It is filled with relationships, memories, lessons, and growth that stay with you long after the prize has been claimed. When you reach the destination, it is often over in a single moment. A trophy handed, a degree earned, a promotion received. But the journey lasts years, sometimes a lifetime. It becomes the story you tell, the lessons you pass on, the legacy you leave behind. Success is not defined by the point you arrive at, but by the person you become through the journey that carried you there. The power of perspective is what separates those who crumble under challenges from those who rise above them. Life does not give us the ability to control every event, every outcome, or every obstacle. What it does give us is the ability to choose how we see these events. The same situation can break one person and build another. Not because the situation was different, but because the perspective was different. Perspective is the lens through which we interpret the world, and that interpretation shapes the actions we take, the strength we summon, and the direction we move in. When failure comes, and it always does at some point, perspective determines whether it becomes a wall or a stepping stone. To someone who sees failure as the end, it feels like proof that they are not good enough, that success was never meant for them. They stop trying, and the door closes. But to someone with a different perspective, the same failure is seen as a lesson, a redirection, an opportunity to refine their skills and try again with more wisdom. The difference is not in the failure itself, but in how it is viewed. Perspective transforms defeat into growth and loss into wisdom. Imagine two climbers attempting to scale a mountain. The weather turns harsh, the path becomes steep, and both of them slip and fall at different points. One climber sees this as a sign that the mountain is unconquerable, that the climb was foolish to begin with, and they give up, retreating back to safety. The other climber sees the same slip as feedback, a reminder to adjust their grip, to study the rock more carefully, to improve their footing. For one, the perspective creates despair. For the other, the perspective creates determination. And in the end, it is not the mountain that decided who would succeed, it was perspective. The power of perspective also applies to how we view our limitations. Many people see their circumstances as cages. They think, I cannot succeed because I was not born in the right place. I do not have the right resources. I lack connections or advantages. Yet others in the same situation look at those very limitations as fuel. They decide that, because they started with less, they will fight harder. Because they were overlooked, they will make themselves impossible to ignore. The same limitation becomes either an excuse or a motivator, depending on perspective. History is filled with people who had every reason to give up, but chose to see their challenges as stepping stones to greatness. Perspective even shapes the way we deal with time. Some see the long journey ahead and think it will take too much effort. too many years, and they give up before they even start. Others see the same timeline and recognize that those years will pass anyway. So why not use them to build something meaningful? 10 years from now, one person will still be standing where they are today because they allowed the weight of time to discourage them, while another will be living their dream because they used those same years to grow. The difference is not in the number of years, but in the way those years were seen. Even pain is altered by perspective. Pain can feel like punishment, something unfair and unbearable. Or it can feel like proof that growth is happening. Think of muscles being trained in a gym. The pain of lifting, the soreness afterward, is the body's way of growing stronger. Without that pain, the strength would never develop. Life works in the same way. Struggles can feel meaningless and cruel. But with the perspective that every challenge carries, a hidden lesson or gift, the pain becomes a tool rather than a curse. Another example of perspective lies in gratitude. Two people can have the same life, the same resources, the same opportunities, and yet one lives in bitterness, while the other lives in joy. The difference is not what they have, but how they see it. Gratitude shifts perspective from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to possibility. When you train yourself to focus on what is working, what is present, what is good, even in the midst of struggle, you find the energy to keep moving. Perspective is not about ignoring reality, but about choosing the angle that gives you strength rather than weakness. The world will always throw uncertainties, obstacles, and disappointments. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control how you interpret them. A rejection letter can mean, "You are not worthy," or it can mean, "There is something better waiting." A delay can mean, "You are running out of time," or it can mean, "You are being prepared." A closed door can mean, "The journey is over," or it can mean, "Find another entrance." Each perspective tells a different story, and the story you choose becomes the life you live. When people say success begins in the mind, they are speaking of perspective. It is not the external world that determines whether you keep going, but the way you interpret that world. If you see every obstacle as final, you will stop. If you see every obstacle as a step, you will climb. If you see time as wasted, you will wait. If you see time as opportunity, you will act. Success belongs not to those who never fall, but to those who choose to see falling as part of the climb. Success is not a mystery locked away in some distant corner of the world. It is a truth that awakens when you realize the key has always been within you. It is in the courage to take the first step, in the resilience to rise after every fall, and in the belief that you are capable of more than you imagine. It is found not in the final moment of achievement, but in the journey that shapes you, tests you, and transforms you along the way. And it is sustained through perspective, the choice to see obstacles as lessons, failures as stepping stones, and challenges as opportunities for growth. When these three truths come together, the hidden key within, the journey over the destination, and the power of perspective, you discover that success is not a finish line. It is a way of living. It is the decision to trust yourself, to honor the path, and to see the world not as a barrier, but as a canvas on which your determination can leave its mark. The door you have been waiting to unlock does not require permission, luck, or perfect timing. It requires you. And the moment you choose to turn that key, embrace the journey, and adjust your perspective, you will find that success has been within reach all along, waiting for you to claim it.